Here it is. This is not a review of the synthesizer itself. You can already find many of those on YouTube if you want. What I want to do is to test it for a real composition, try to perform live with it and see how it feels. And along the way I will try to give you some ideas and some tips that I hope that will be useful for you and that can help you to get the maximum out of it for ambient and drone music. Some people complain that it doesn't have a dedicated MIDI input, but only this USB cable that is also powering it. In my opinion, this is a bit unfair, given the price and the size of the synthesizer and all the features that it already packs. With the same price, you can get only a Monotron like this one, which of course doesn't have any input except for the audio input, and it has only this ribbon keyboard. Of course, these two things are different products. The Monotron is an analog synthesizer, the Behringer is a digital one. But to be honest, I was really impressed with the amount of features and versatility of this little machine. It has all the parameters that you need to sculpt the sound as you wish, and the presets that are inside are already quite good. Also, the keyboard feels very responsive. But for this demonstration, I decided to connect it to an external sequencer, so I can take full advantage of all the features and the 4 voices that are available at once on this machine. I connected it to my computer into Ableton Live and I set up 3 channels. The first one here is just one single note. This will be the drone playing continuously in a loop, and I decided to set it on a lower octave. Anyway, I wasn't fully 100% convinced with the sound of the machine. Not because it sounds bad, on the contrary, I think it sounds really great, especially if we consider the price and the size of this machine. We have to remember it is a cheap pocket synthesizer of few centimeters. But I usually prefer the sound of analog synthesizers for drone, because they have some grit and some raw power that I feel sometimes is lacking in the digital ones. Sometimes they can sound a bit too polished, a bit too clean, but for sure there are ways to make them sound a bit more gritty and to infuse a bit more energy into them. So I thought, what can we do to achieve that sound? Well, one option is to take the output of this one and run it into something analog. Here comes the best companion ever. I decided to pair it with the Korg Monotron Delay for 2 reasons. One is that everything that runs into it gets some magic analog grit. It will add a lot of character to the sound, making it more interesting. Of course, it will be much more lo-fi, but in a good way. Also, we'll have the possibility to use the cutoff filter. We don't have any resonance control, luckily, but the cutoff already works quite good alone. And by twisting it, we can achieve many different textures and results. And the second thing is that we can add some delay to it, of course. And this will let us create many more variations and complex texture, taking advantage of the infinite feedback of this little unit. We can really perform live and evolve our sound as it goes on. And of course I will show you how to do so, and also how we can add a few notes in real time on our basic sequence to get a very interesting complex result. So let's dive into it and see what happens. Okay, we connected the output of the Behringer to the auxiliary input of the Monotron Delay. And the output of the Monotron Delay goes straight into my audio interface. Now let's hope for the best. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed creating it.